Hey everybody, I'm going to do one more quick video today because a lot of people have been asking me some questions about my Amiga Tower project here. Basically, I already have an Amiga 500, I have a 500 Plus, and I have a 1200, and I had a tower back in the 90s. It was called a Bomac tower, and basically you took your Amiga 2000, bottom half of the case, you shoved it into this humongous 2-ton of a case to give a tower out of the Amiga. And I always wanted another one just because it's fun, and I always think the Amigas are not only good being stock, and again I have stock Amigas, but Amiga is also good for hacking, modifying, making it something more than it ever was, and that's what makes Amiga so great and why Amiga makes everything possible. Now the case I have here is a regular PC tower case I had, and originally you can see here I had a sticker still on it, haven't taken it off. It was called my Amiga floppy copy station because I had used a regular IBM motherboard, an older one, that the BIOS supported 2 floppy drives, 2 IBM floppy drives. And with a special program, you were able to copy, not all the time, but sometimes, the Amiga disks to an ADF format. It didn't work that reliably. It worked a couple of times. It was neat. Since then, I've gotten a SuperCard Pro from Jim Drew. It's a fantastic device. I have a whole video on that too on my channel. I would definitely take a look at it. It lets you copy pretty much any disk format. It really is a good device from Jim. I can't recommend that enough. But since then, I've basically had a regular 500 again. I have a 500 Plus and a 1200, and I had an extra PAL 500 motherboard that I figure, rather than collect dust, let me turn it into my tower project case here. And you can see I have a nice black Amiga sticker that I put on there anyway. It's a regular IBM keyboard that I have here. It's a PS2 keyboard, and this is a PS2 laser mouse here, which works really good. If you look in the back of my Amiga Ultra Tower, that I called it here, let me get a little flashlight to get a little better light for you guys over here. And I have a USB PS2 mouse adapter here I got off eBay. It really works really well. Plug it into your mouse port in your Amiga and use any PS2 compatible USB mouse. Works fantastic. I also have, as you can see, a PS2 keyboard going in. I'll show you the device in a second. And then I have my joystick port right there. Now I do have a Indivision ECS in the device right there. And above it, this is an old sound card breakout box I had. I just hacked into it and put the Amiga audio channels on that just to make it look neat. So if we look inside the Ultra Amiga, let's see what we have going on in here. Before we even do that, let me show you the front panel really quick now that I have a flashlight as well. So basically here, I put the on-off switch here. I'll probably modify this eventually for the power on-off switch, but and I have plenty of these back panels, so I'll just replace that. I do have a ROM switcher in here, and I have Amiga DOS 1.3 and 3.1 selectable here with this switch. And this switch controls where I boot my floppy from. I'll show you why I've done that in a second, but I can boot it from an internal DF0 or make it external DF0, even though it's still technically internal in the device. And up here is the new thing I got today, which I just did a video on a little while ago. This is a regular Sony IBM floppy drive with a special cable I got off of eBay, and I have a video on that on my channel as well. That'll let you use pretty much, I've tested so far 7 different manufacturer IBM floppy drives, and they all work great. As far as this computer is concerned, that's an Amiga floppy. Of course it's not, it's a 1.44, so you have to make sure on your floppy diskettes you have just the one breakout. If you do have the second breakout here, you have to cover it so the machine thinks it's a standard 880K drive. But this is fantastic. I mean, being able to use regular IBM floppy drives, then trying to track down a working Amiga floppy drive, it's a huge deal. And it works really well. I'm very happy with it. So let me open up the case here and give it a little tour inside of the computer. Now, basically, we have here, this is the ECS, which, again, it works really well. It's expensive. It's over $100 here US. I have another video on my channel where I used a simple arcade board scan doubler, and it cost me $18 on eBay, and it works, I think, just as well. Of course, the ECS has more video modes, can do a lot more, But if you just want to deinterlace something and display your stuff on a regular VGA monitor for 18 bucks, free shipping from China for this device, check out my channel. Thing works fantastic. Here is the breakout box for an old sound card I had, and I just basically hacked in the Amiga audio channels to it. Ran the cable up here, and it just comes in back here to the regular channels here for the Amiga. I have a Kepler 8 meg fast RAM board in here. Works nice in here. I really couldn't fit the individual ECS and that in here and be able to close the case. Another reason why this went into my tower project. I have plenty of room in here, obviously, and my external scan doubler for 18 bucks was great for all my other Amigas. Now, over here, again, I got from eBay. It's a PS2 adapter that has some electronics in here, and that comes up and plugs into the normal keyboard spot on the Amiga board. This thing, again, works great. Plug it in, no problems at all. Works fantastic. I have an IBM AT power supply here with my own custom jury-rigged power connector, basically hot glue and nails you would use to hang a picture frame, and a coat hanger. But it works really well for me. Just make sure the voltages are all right, and they are, and fits perfectly and works great. You got to use what you have available sometimes. What else do we have going on in here? Also from Kepler, I have his 3.1, 1.3 ROM device here, which I have going to a switch, which comes to the front of the computer over here. Just so I don't have to mess with jumper cables, I hot soldered on some items here. If I ever get my 512 expansion module here, I can easily move this jumper here, and then move this jumper here, which goes to the JP pin under here to give me 1 meg of chip RAM. Very easy. Just pull these little jumpers out, like so, which I made. Just soldered the little devices, little pins onto the jumper. I can move that quite easily. And then right here, my machine is now set to NTSC mode. I do this. I am now in PAL mode. Temporarily, I'm going to put it back into NTSC mode for one of the games I'm going to show you. And up here, I have a little ROM switcher. If I can get a little more light in there. I don't know if I can see it too well. But basically, it's a couple of sockets with a couple of pins bypassed. That, again, comes to my switch on the outside of the machine when I can toggle where I'm booting from. Right now, it's set to boot from DF1, which is the external. But as far as the computer is concerned, it's the internal. If that makes any sense to you guys. I'm sure if you're an Amiga guy for long enough, you know what that means. So even though this is my first external to floppy drive, when I flip the switch, this becomes DF0, not DF1. And DF1 is here. And I'm probably going to put, I don't know, GoTech or something on that connector. Although, technically I can put it now on this cable here, which came today. This is the cable that lets you use an IBM floppy drive and make it think it's an Amiga drive. And right now, this one is the external version, which goes onto my external connector here. And then it has another connector here for a GoTech. So you could do that on this cable as well. And you can see my two serial cables here, joystick and mouse. The cables simply come up, go behind the case, and then I simply am going into here. So that's the machine itself in a nutshell. Taking me a while to get it all together. You know, you learn a little bit as you go. And I'm just going to fire it up real quick. I'm going to show you again. This is a copy. And again, people, I do have the originals. I just don't like using the originals because they're old, and I don't want to take a chance of them getting ruined. But I'm going to put this in here, into this IBM floppy drive, like so, just like that. And I'm going to set this right now, just for argument's sake. I'm going to leave it on 3.1, but boot from the external. So I'm going to pop this disk in. I'm going to fire this bad boy up. And let's see what we get. You can see the floppy drive light is going. And we have some Battle Squadron setting up. A game that's got some, you know, copy protection on it. But as far as this computer is concerned, that's a regular Amiga drive as far as it's concerned. I think that's awesome. And I'm going to bring this video to a close, guys. Just share it real quick. You know, the mouse lights up, which is kind of neat. and the keyboard works great. Control Windows will reboot the machine. I'm hoping to get some keys where I can replace that and make it look a little more Amiga-like. But that's my tower project. The only thing I want to add to it probably is a Viper 2 500 whenever that comes out. But other than that, guys, have a great night. Thanks for watching the video. Please take a look at my other videos. Like and subscribe if you want. And any questions, feel free. Everyone have a great night, and remember, only Amiga makes it possible, and enjoy your machines as much as I do. Good night.